And we're live. So firstly, I just want to send the link out because, again, this was done at the last minute. So nobody knows that this is on. So it should be under 30 minutes. Skip the link. So I'll just wait. What time is it now? I'll wait 5 minutes just to give people a chance. Since in a way, I'll remove most of this from the video when I edit it afterwards, since there's no point having this for people in general. So when I edit this, I'll just cut it down to when I get going, when I start looking at the banker questions and what help is available and what to do and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I'll wait another 4 minutes. So where can I see whether there's anybody here or not? So yeah, I mean this is a bit odd because again, since I know I'm going to delete this, it doesn't really matter what I say here, and given that I want to wait a couple of minutes to give people the chance to kind of get online. I mean, the basic idea here is that you want with your live events to basically respond to questions so that you have the opportunity, you have the chat thing with live. So I can, as I said here, about to start. So then people can say, how does that happen? What do you do? Yeah, I mean, whatever question is relevant. And that's kind of handy because you can sort out problems that have been bugging you, And it's handy for me as well because that way I can kind of hear what you'd like to hear, and then then that way I can talk about the problems, the questions that I get from the viewers. Okay, granted, social media has been around for over 10 years now, really. So that's the main thing, isn't it? I mean, that it's no longer just, oh, here I am, I'm just going to broadcast a program on TV. It's a two-way thing. So I can go on talking about what I want to talk about, what I think is the most interesting and relevant stuff. But here I can get feedback. I can hear questions, and people can talk amongst themselves. So you basically, it's all about kind of trying to grow a community. So waffle. I'll just wait 2 more minutes. So then I can waffle on about the match tonight. It's an interesting enough one Because on the one hand, Sevilla have won it twice in a row. I think it's something like they've won it 5 times in the last 10 years. So, you know, they have a very good track record in this competition. On the other hand, obviously, Liverpool are a mega club up there with Barcelona, Bayern Munich. I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich. A team that's won the Champions League 5 times and all that kind of stuff. But that is kind of historical. So, yeah, it's hard to tell. Also, Klopp, lost 4 of his last finals. So, you can give an argument, multiple arguments, either way. Okay, so I'm just going to get going. Again, I mean, the main idea here was I could kind of go, try and set it up, tell loads of people on Friday I'm going to give a half-hour live thing, and that way build up, get more viewers and all that kind of stuff. But there really isn't that much time now, so there's not much point to me doing that. It seemed to me to be more useful to basically launch into very it's not action-packed, something along those lines, to launch into lessons which are packed full of content. And okay, so it's not, then I'll end up with a recorded video. But actually, I don't think it matters that much. I mean, I think, you can still ask questions underneath the video. You can still do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I basically think it's better to get these videos out because they can help lots of people. So let's get going. So, we have the playlists. I'm working with, I'll put links in the description below this video so that, you can jump straight to those, jump straight to the videos that I'm looking at. So the first banker, and this is the banker which is the most reliable. I mean, you have multiple questions. It's to do with areas and volumes. So it's actually quite a big block because on the one hand, you just have areas and volumes. But then after you know how to work out the areas and volumes of triangles and rectangles and squares and a collection of regular standard figures, then we move on to looking at compound areas and volumes. So that'll be objects which are a combination of the basic objects that we began with. So once you've done that, so these three, that block, being able to work out the area volume of regular objects and compound objects, that alone is nearly a guaranteed question. I mean, that comes up pretty much always. So one of the standard questions when it comes to this type of thing would be, equivalent volumes. So as in you have maybe a sphere made of metal, and then you melt it. You pour what you have into a rectangular cuboid or whatever, three-dimensional rectangle shape. So how high does it fill? So there, you work out the volume of the original object, the sphere. So when you melt it, the volume of that liquid remains the same. So when you pour it into the rectangle or the cuboid or three-dimensional equivalent of a rectangle, how high, you can work out how high that fills to give you the same volume as the sphere that you began with. So we look at those type of the kind of things that you can be asked in these lessons. The expressions are in your tables book, so that'll tell you, if I know the width and length of the rectangle, then the area is like the formula is given, so it's length times width. If you want the area of a circle or the volume of a pyramid, all the expressions that you need to know are in the tables book. Once you know that, then you have the more advanced stuff. So nets, I call that kind of the minimum amount of wrapping up paper that you need to cover that object. It's kind of more visualization. And finally, there's the trapezoidal rule. That's a numerical method. So, in the first part, we're always working with regular geometric objects. But most things in the world are not regular geometric objects. So the trapezoidal rule can be applied to any shape. So in that way, it's far more powerful than having to rely on exact formulas and stuff. But you only get an approximate answer. So, that's the trade-off. So basically, you want to have worked your way through all this stuff, which again, is not a huge amount of work. But work you have to do. And once you've done that, then you can tick off another banker. And volumes and areas, as I said, are the most reliable question. So that is going to be asked. And if you've done all this, then you're good to go. You're ready. You're prepared for whatever comes. As usual, you then want to have done problems and solutions. So, we have the problems and solutions lessons on the channel as well. I'll put in a link below the video to those as well. So that's the first banker that I wanted to look at today. The next one is from statistics. It's the stem and leaf plot. That begins at about 16 minutes and 44 seconds. So maybe click at 16 and a half. Then we go over the stem and leaf plot. The stem and leaf plot is from statistics, and the graphical part of statistics. Since it was a new addition to the syllabus, partial project maths, I suppose they really wanted to emphasize it. So it was asked every year. It was incredibly reliable. And it got an entire question. That said, it wasn't asked last year. So it's been knocked off the perch of the few questions that came up 100% of the time. Stem and leaf plots also had loads of marks. It was a big question. And it's very methodical. So if you've done one stem and leaf plot, you've done them all. So you given some data, you just go through step by step a process to end up with a stem and leaf plot. So this, you can do it all in autopilot. You don't have to think at all. Well, to create the stem and leaf plot, then you have to interpret what it tells you. So here we have the lesson and we go through the stem and leaf plot. You can have the stem and leaf plot, you have the ordered one, you have the back-to-back. There are some variations, but it's pretty much the same. As with the other questions, we have problem sets and solutions. So you can look at the problem set where we have some problems related to stem and leaf plots and their solutions, since that helps, make things more concrete. So that's mainly what I wanted to cover today. That's, two more bankers with a fair bit of marks. Is there another banker that I wanted to? Stem and leaf? No, that's all I really want. No, that's all I wanted to do today. I'll finish up with those turbo questions. So, where we try and do some, like the core parts of algebra, calculus, and that kind of stuff in one lesson. So they're like kind of the add-ons. You basically want to do the number strand, which has the most marks, like 35%. Then the next biggest strand is probability and statistics. That's 20%. And then if you do the turbos, you can get like another 5 to 10% from each of algebra, calculus, the line and circle. So that'll push you up potentially to a B. So till then.